Wherever you live, you always have a day with the sun shining. So why not talk about some books perfect for a day like that? Let's go. Good morning, everybody. My name is Rob. This is my mom, Karen. And there's something kind of magical about a day where the sun's out, sitting at the park, nice blue skies. Kind of a good day to read a book, right? But not just any book. How about a book that kind of signifies what it means to be in that sunny weather, right?
Yeah.
So I came across a few that I thought were interesting. And we're going to go over them right now to see what you guys think. So, first off, we have a book by TJ Klune called The House in the Cerulean Sea, which is a tale of humor, magic, and found family. With its heartwarming tone and colorful characters, it's a perfect companion for those peaceful afternoons outdoors. It's kind of that book about, finding people who may or may not be actual bloodline, but they are family in terms of, you know, love, closeness, all that. I think that kind of signifies a lot, right? I think
Right.
that's kind of like your typical Hallmark Channel movie,
Yeah.
something funny, happy, silly, but at the end of it, you get that, bonding of you and the book, I think.
So are you like equating like happy books with Hallmark movies? Is that kind of like a visual we can get?
Apparently, in this case, I am, yes.
Okay, just one.
At least for this book. The
Okay.
other ones may be a little bit different, but I think this one's an interesting one. On Goodreads, it's one of the top books right now. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go check that one out. But I think it's a great one to start with because I think theme wise, it's the epitome of the happy, sunny
Right.
day, right?
Right.
Number two is one that really intrigues me, and I want to read a little bit more of it. It's called Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. It follows the unlikely friendship between a grieving woman and a witty octopus in a small coastal town. The seaside setting, the hopefulness in the story make it a great fit for sitting by the water, at the beach, all that kind of thing. And I just think it's a really cute type
I do
of
too. Yeah,
storyline.
I do too.
I think I had heard about this a while back, and I never actually stopped to look. But I was looking, when I was reading about it and reading more into it this time, I thought this is a very clever kind of story. It makes you think of those documentaries about the photographers that kind of make friends with the animals
Mhm,
that they're
mhm.
filming and they're taking photos of. So the fact that this individual went ahead and wrote that story, and there's been stories about this before, so this isn't the first
Right.
one, but this is definitely a very clever and cute type of happy, fun type of story. It's one that you don't have to really think too much on it, and you just kind of get that vibe of, oh my god, this lady is having, this friendship with an octopus.
Time of her life. Time of her life with an octopus. I mean, how bad could that be, right?
Exactly, right? And then we're going to end off the last book here called The Rosie Project by Graham Simpson,
I read
or I'm
that.
sorry, Simison, and it has plenty of laughs with a socially awkward professor on a quest for love. It's fast paced, quick charm, and perfect for a day in the sun. And once again, it's kind of like the first book. You
Right.
have that kind of awkward love story. And at the end of it, everybody kind of comes together and you
Right.
find that you can find love in, the strangest of places, right?
I actually read this book, believe it or not. I read this book years ago, and I loved it. If I can't really remember why I loved it, but I know I loved it. And I actually there's a second book that's in the series, and I remember getting the second book, and it wasn't as good as the first one. So there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Well, cool.
So I have a question for you, Rob. Do you have a
Sure.
spot that you like to go read your books in in the sunshine? I mean, do you go outside? Is there a hammock? What do you do?
A hammock would be lovely. I think honestly, sitting by the window, sitting out in the backyard. I know for a while, back when I was in high school, we'd all bring our books to like the park or the beach.
Right.
I think for me, just kind of being comfy and getting that, natural light in from the windows is the perfect thing. And I think it's kind of why when you look at homes and you see people putting their chairs by the big window, it's because it gives you that light and it gives you that warmth. So that would be my seat of choice, I think.
So, do you have a favorite kind of story that you like to read to be happy in the summer?
Um, that's a good one. Um, say I would say the ones that kind of I can put too much thought into it. So for me, it's going to sound weird, but probably a good nonfiction because a lot of times I already know the information that I'm reading, so I can kind of just sit back and allow the reader or the book to just kind of like be a fun pastime. You know, I don't need to necessarily put too much thought. And I think that's why a happy book for me is what makes it happy is when I can read something and not have to, then go on the computer and go, wait a minute, what did I just read? Because then,
Right.
then you're working and you're having to like look. So that's the kind of book for me, a good like nonfiction, something like that.
That seems actually weird because nonfiction for me, I am having to look up everything and I want to underline stuff. And in a fiction book, it's. I think a fiction book, and I'm mindless is not the right word, but it's something that you don't have to think about other than enjoy the story or enjoy the journey or whatever that is about. That's so interesting that you like
Sure.
nonfiction books. Interesting, but not surprising. Actually, not
No,
surprising. Just
no, not
interesting.
at all. Not at
We
all.
want to encourage people to go check out the Next Chapter bookstore.shop. Lots and lots of books. Let's remind you, it's a gently used bookstore, right? And you know how much I love that, Rob. You know, the stories and the history, because people have read them before and then they end up somewhere else. I love that. What kind of books are they going to find in there, in the bookstore?
Well, we got a little bit of everything. If you are a superhero fan, we got a nice selection of graphic novels and comic books. If you are a fan of biographies, we got a bunch of new autobiographies and biographies in. Um, and then we have your general fiction. Something should be there that you will find of interest, I believe. And we always get new stuff. So who knows?
Well, go check it out. And I'm curious, tell us what your favorite kind of book is to read when it's sunny outside. And whether you read inside or outside, what are those favorite books? Are you like Rob? Do you like the nonfiction books? Or are you like me, the fiction mindless, not having to think about anything kind of book? That sounds terrible, doesn't it? So, not that. Just what kind of book do you like to read? As always, it's so much fun doing these shows with you, Rob. We want to make sure people join us next week on the next Books, Banter, and Beyond. See you next week. Bye, everyone.